3, 2, 1. Okay, so this is my first video on my second channel. Hi guys, my name is Slim Jimothy. I think at some point I will reveal the name of my main channel if this channel kind of does its thing and I feel like it's the right time. On this channel, I don't really know what I'll be doing, but I think I have a slight idea of what it's going to be for the next little while anyways. So recently I've just been reading Reddit stories and I've been kind of getting into Minecraft, and right now work has been pretty difficult and just long and tiring, and just the way for me to just break that kind of streak of boredom is just to do one of the two things. So I just thought, why not do it together? So here I'm going to be playing some Minecraft in the background and I'm going to be reading some Reddit stories, and hopefully it's going to help you if you're trying to get to sleep or if you just want something to watch while you're trying to eat. So let's get into the first story. Okay, so first story. This is from the Reddit thread, Am I the Asshole? Boyfriend mad at me because he opened up relationship and got no dates. Am I the asshole for how I responded? Here we go. I can already kind of feel how this one's going to go. So me and my boyfriend, both 37, have been dating for just over 3 years. Prior to this, I was single for 8 years. Overall, it's been a healthy relationship. We're both independent with our jobs, living situations, etc. I do love spending time with him. I don't really have any complaints. However, something that startled me was back about 6 months ago. Him saying that he wanted to open the relationship up, meaning going on dates and sleeping with other women. I've never been in a dynamic like this, so I naturally had a lot of questions. He told me that I could go on dates and sleep with other men. I honestly was a little skeptical at first, but after doing some research and having time to think, I agreed. He had told me that if at any point I wasn't comfortable, we could stop and close the relationship up again. One of the rules was we don't discuss with each other what we're doing or who we're going on dates with, etc. I signed up to a dating app. Within a few days, I had like 500 likes. So I'm saying girls run everything on dating apps. Oh my goodness. And it's been pretty steady since. So I started matching with people, texting and arranging dates. On average, I go on about 1 or 2 dates a month. There are also some people in similar dynamics of open relationships that I'm going on dates with and sleeping with regularly. I quite like the fact that everything is non-committal. So even though I was skeptical at first, I'm enjoying the open relationship. As decided from before, I haven't told my boyfriend about any of this. I was at my boyfriend's house the other day and my phone was on the kitchen counter. He saw my notifications and proceeded to go through my phone and read my messages, including going through the dating app and whatnot. To say he was angry was an understatement. Turns out he opened the relationship up to take out and date a younger colleague at his workplace, who misread his idea of a date as just a work lunch. He then openly told me that he wanted to see if it would work with her so he could ultimately leave me for her. However, she didn't want him, and it seems like no one else did either. The last 6 months, he's had a few rough dates, but no one additional to sleep with. I feel somewhat embarrassed for him. He demanded we instantly close the relationship up, and I told him that maybe we should just end things or at least take a break. He was outraged and called me names, but he was the one who wanted this dynamic to begin with. So what's the problem? I left, and as I walked home, I was contemplating fully breaking it off with him. He's blowing up my phone, and I'm not quite sure what to say. Am I the asshole? No. I don't think anyone in this situation would be considered the asshole. I don't know how. It's usually the case with these type of things. Like, you want the relation to be open just because you want something specific that doesn't go your way. So then now you're like, Some of the replies here saying you should join the rest of the population and not dating him as well. I think him crashing out over a dynamic that he started to begin with is what the issue is. You can't get mad at someone for following your rules. That makes absolutely no sense. But yeah, I think that one was pretty much a slam dunk. So let's get into the next story. All right, so here's our second story. Am I the asshole for breaking up with my 27 male girlfriend, 24 female, for making out with someone on her freebie list? So I'm guessing that's like it's the list where you can just, if you meet someone like say flipping Zendaya, oh my goodness, you can go for that if she wants to go for you, basically is what that type of list is. So basically it's the list where you can like make out or, get with any celebrity you want or whoever you want because they're so unattainable. That's essentially what that list is supposed to mean. So here's how the story goes. So this technically isn't recent. It happened 3 years ago, but I still wonder if I was in the wrong here. My girlfriend and I had been together for just over a year. And of course, one of the conversations we had one day in our relationship was who was going to be on our freebie list of celebrities we could hook up with should the opportunity arise. Her list included mostly athletes from our hometown. And that seemed like odd choices to me since mine were all actresses and singers, but I thought nothing of it. These guys were definitely traditionally attractive and muscular, so I could see why she would choose them and didn't really think anything of it. Fast forward, and she went out downtown with some friends for her friend's birthday, and they ended up in a popular club for dancing and some drinking. One of her friends works for the team, not like directly coaching/training staff, but more of an operations assistant for day-to-day activities. But she has definitely interacted with the players on some occasions. And my girlfriend ended up making out one of the guys on her list. Mierda. The real problem I had with this is I learned from one of her friends who was there that this all happened that night. When confronted, she said yes, it did happen, but she insisted that because it was someone on her previously disclosed list, it didn't count. I didn't know what to say, but I just ended it there. I felt betrayed and hurt that she would actually be unfaithful to me just to make out with a celebrity who didn't actually give a shit about her and had probably forgotten her name by the time he woke up the next morning. I've been cheated on before in a relationship years prior, and it shattered my trust, but I never thought I'd have to deal with cheating from my otherwise loving and supportive girlfriend. Damn, this guy is pretty unlucky. She tried to say it would have been okay if I had done the same thing, but to me, even if the opportunity came, I'd never have taken it. She even said if I had slept with one of my celebrities, she wouldn't be mad, and even said, if you had a chance with Emilia Clarke, I'd jump in bed with two of you, as if that made it okay and justified. She also said it was just making out and touching, so it wasn't even that bad. I look back at it and think maybe I overreacted, and maybe I'd have acted the same if the situation actually happened upon me, but I guess I'll probably never know. Damn. There's a few edits here, and straight off the bat, no, he is not in the wrong for this. No matter what, everyone knows if you're talking to your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your whoever, you're talking about a list of celebrities that you'd mess with because you know that's unattainable. Like, I know I'm probably never gonna come across Beyonce, and I know probably she's not gonna want to get down with me. However, she's top of my list. Oh my goodness. So straight off the bat, this guy's not in the wrong for ending it. His trust was broken over fun little nothing conversations you have in a relationship. So I don't think he's the asshole. But let's see what the edits say. Edit. This was a player from our MLB team in 2022, since that seems to be the question everyone wants to know. Okay, so MLB is Major League Baseball, so that's definitely American. I think he's cool. Let's see what some of the comments say. Someone says, when her list was mostly athletes from our hometown, she planned on checking names off that list. 100%. And someone says here, more a to-do list than a wish list. She played him for real. Oh, your free pass is Sabrina Carpenter? Cool. Mine is your dad. Yeah, that's good stuff. Okay, here's the third story from r/off my chest. The title is, I became paralyzed from the chest down after a drunk driver hit me, and all anyone seems to care about is getting me back to work, and it's making me wish I just died. That's what the 9 to 5 rat race feels like. It literally feels like, yeah, it doesn't matter what just happened to you, but can you get in for 10? A drunk driver hit me driving home from work in July, and my life changed in an instant. I ended up paralyzed from the waist down. I'm grieving my old life full of travel and adventure, and I'm trying to figure out how to live in this new body that I resent and doesn't allow me to live my old life anymore. But every conversation I have with doctors, therapists, rehab staff, support coordinators, in parentheses, seems to circle back to one thing: getting you back to work. Like my worth begins and ends with being productive, and the only goal after my accident is to remain employable and contributing to capitalism. It's like enjoying life, reconnecting with the things I care about, or even feeling human again don't even matter anymore. I will never travel again, never get to have good seats at a concert again, just work, 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 work. It just makes me wish I just died. Jeez, that's rough. That is rough. Not that I'm just saying it's rough for the sake of saying they're having a bad time, because obviously they are. But that's what it feels like. I feel like the whole capitalistic nature of things, it just takes out the humanity in everything. For example, I work for an organization that I will not name because I've been fired from a job already for saying or disparaging them online. It's difficult because I think I'm the newest in my team. There's just a level of like humanity that is taken away from when you're in like in HR in a job or anything like that, because you're just seeing people as part of your job. When I have to do interviews and take notes for them, so people who look like they're actually having a hard time will leave the interview and I'll be like, man, I actually believe that person. They might be going through a tough time. Then my supervisor will be like, nah, they're bullshitting. But it doesn't feel like that's the right thing to say, even though in my head I kind of can be naive and see the best in people when maybe that's not always the case. But I don't know. And it sucks because people forget that they are people, and this money, not to be, too hippie about it, but all this money and this like hierarchy that we have is literally all made up. So I feel really bad for this person, and I really do feel what they're talking about. And I hope they get some semblance of their life back, because I know it can't be easy to just go through that. All right, let's go into hopefully a little lighthearted last story. Okay, so here is our last story. So the title is, I still tear up when I leave my parents' house after all this time. I'm 34 years old, haven't lived with my parents for many years now, but I still tear up or choke up a bit when I leave my parents' home. I've always felt so safe, happy, and loved there, and that hasn't changed, even with me being an adult. I just miss being with them sometimes, and as silly or childish as it sounds, that longing or feeling like I'm a kid again hits me as I'm pulling away from their house every time, watching them wave in my rearview mirror. That's it. Oh, I feel this one sometimes, because sometimes I'll be sitting in work and I'm just thinking, man, I remember just running outside and knocking on my friend's door, and now I'm just staring at a computer screen. Like, I can almost feel how bright the sun was. The sun felt so bright when I was like 8. It brings back good memories, man. It brings back good memories. And that's why I'm doing this YouTube thing, because I've always been passionate about it. I've been on YouTube for about 10 years, so that can give you a hint on who I am. Probably not, but yeah, I really do miss being a kid, or I just miss having the freedom to think, because you always take that for granted. And if you're a younger person watching this, like under the age of, well, honestly, if you're just in college or secondary school and primary school or kindergarten, high school, I don't know what it is in America, but don't take that time for granted, man. Try and move towards your dreams, your goals. If you don't have goals, just try and experience life. Not that you're doomed when you hit a 9 to 5, but you start living for the weekends a little bit, and then you realize that life is pretty small. You'll book your time off and then you'll come back to work and it'll feel like you never left. And that feeling's hard to come to terms with sometimes. I know I struggle with it. I actually really enjoyed this video. I actually think I'll do something like this again. I want to make this kind of like a Minecraft channel, so maybe I'll just do different types of videos in the future. And maybe just a gaming channel even. I'd love for this just to be anything I feel like putting up. Maybe I'll keep it faceless, maybe I'll put my face on it. Who knows? Thank you so much for watching. If you watched it, please give it a like, and please subscribe, because I really want to try and make a thing, and I hope you can join me for it. I feel like I'm someone who could maybe do a little thing on this little YouTube thing, and I'd love for you to join me. So thank you so much for watching. My name has been Slim Jimothy, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully within 2 weeks. Okay, bye-bye.